Hi guys, I'm Anna Price, and this is my husband John Price, and we're doing the price of cooking. Part of the channel is going to be about like saving money and the best deals on how to make your money stretch in the kitchen, but also providing pretty healthy meals. Not everything's completely healthy, I fully admit that. Some things are just time consuming, and so we come up with the different ways to save that time. But a lot of these meals are like tried and true. We cook them all the time. I cook them, and the family loves them. So, but for the most part, they're gonna be pretty healthy. I try to not use as much box stuff as possible, but every now and then you have to, just in a pinch of time. I like to cook mostly on weekends, the big meals, because they take longer. But I also, cook every day of the week. It does take a lot of time, but it's worth it because the kids eat healthier, and we don't eat fast food hardly ever. But we still save a lot of money because I'm real bargain shopping and finding better deals and different ways to cook things. So today we're cooking Fideo, which is like Mexican spaghetti. If you've never had it, it has, you get the Fideo noodles already cut up. It's like spaghetti that's just cut up. But there's different tricks to it on how you cook it. One of the things is you have to like almost fry it in oil in the skillet before you mix it all together. You don't really boil it until you put all of it together with the juices and the sauces. It gives it my mom calls it a nutty flavor, but it does something to the texture and the flavor. You can't skip that part. It's vital. So anyway, so this is one of my husband's favorite meals that I make. So anyway, so we make this probably more than we make regular spaghetti, I would say. Mm-hmm. Definitely more than we make regular spaghetti. But it's good, and it lasts forever. Like when I make it, I make a huge thing of it. He says too much, but I don't know how to cook in small quantities. I grew up with my mom. Sorry, my 14-year-old's over here eyeballing me every step I do. So the first thing I get going is the hamburger meat and the onions and garlic. Okay, here's another just time saver. My daughter hates that I use the jarred minced garlic. She wants fresh garlic. But I'm not a real fan of smelling like garlic 24/7. I love to eat garlic. I don't like it smelling like garlic. So I don't like really mincing it myself. Every now and then I'll go wild and I'll actually mince fresh garlic. But it's so much easier just to put a spoon in and scoop it out and not have to smell like it. But she does throw a fit when she sees me buy it. She's like, that's not the same. But she's not the one cooking, so, I don't really.
I'll dice it.
You'll dice it if I buy it?
Mm-hmm. I'll mince it.
Huh?
I'll mince it.
You'll mince it for me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she says that now, but all of my kids say they want to help and like to help, but then when it comes down to like actually asking them to do anything in the kitchen to help me, it's not always as easy. And usually, I wish I was not this kind of mom, but really I am. And I'm that kind of wife too. They're willing to help, but then it's easier for me just to do it myself. And sometimes it's easier than explaining what I want done, just do it. It drives John crazy because he wants to help me, and I'm just like, oh, will you get me one of those cutting things? So here's another fast thing that I've learned. I'm not a brand pusher. I'm not trying to say any brands. You get these in any brand. These just happen to be Pamper Chef. But I have my really nice, good, hard cutting board. Let me see, it's a wood. I only got it at Aldi. They're only like $10. But I love this. But I like these little flimsy ones to put on top. And then I can chop and dice and do all that and move it around. It's a lot harder to move a big wooden cutting board. So this is just a trick I've learned to just, I cut on top of the wooden one, but you have that little plastic one in the middle. It just saves a lot of time and way easier. I love onions. Absolutely love onions. I put them in almost everything. We go through onions more than anything. Found a 50-pound bag the other day, and I was very tempted on getting it because I knew I could probably use that definitely before they went bad, I was debating whether I could go through a month with a 50-pound bag of onions. That was a big bag. I didn't get it just because I already got 3 bags here at the house, or little bags, but I don't know. I might. Because I just don't know. Like, I know I could go through them within, oh, there, these are strong. I know I could go through them within, before they go bad. I don't know that I could go through them in a month. But I mean, it's fine. But and I could always give some to my family. My mom is an amazing cook. That's where I learned to cook. She's Irish, but she cooks the best Mexican food you'll ever have in your life. She grew up, my aunts who are Mexican taught her when she was married to my father. And so and she's not a lazy cook. And I don't mean to say that finding shortcuts makes you lazy, but I'm just saying she does everything like all the little steps that it takes to make something. She does that because she's one of those people that there's definitely an effort and there's definitely a reward out of that effort. And so, anyway, so a lot of the things I've learned from her have been that as far as little things like doing this Fideo, cooking the noodles. She makes another dish that has, I can't say what she calls it, but they have this little Mexican shells. They're like the pasta, but they're tiny shells. You can't say it, no. And my mom, she does the same thing with those. Fries them in oil a little bit before she actually puts the meat and the, the tomato sauce and all that with it. So, oh, these are killer. If you'll put, so a little bit of oil, just enough to like cover it. We'll get that going. Okay, so right now the base is just, I'm going to do an onion and I can't remember how much meat I got. I told the lady the rest of what she had on the thing. 2.33 pounds. Okay, this is only $85.15 because this was at a local grocery store that we love. Their food is so fresh. Their meat is fresh. It's all fresh. They grind it right there. So it's not like Walmart meat, no offense to Walmart, but it's not like that because they grind it all there. So it's harder, I found, to get their leanness. Like, they don't really have like the 96. Now at Walmart, I get the 96, or the 95 or whatever the leanness they have. Because I try to do as healthy as possible. I don't want a lot of fat. And also, it is easier when you don't have to drain as much. And so, but they don't usually have that at this grocery store. So, 85, I think, was their leanest that they had yesterday when we went. And so, she didn't have a whole lot left on that tray. I said, just give me the rest of what you got. So, John put oil in just the pan. And it's gonna heat up. We're gonna put the onion in there and the garlic. And like I said, this is way easier, just scoop it. And I'm gonna put recipes under every video, but I am the first to admit I am not good at recipes. I tell John, I just add till God tells me to stop. I don't. What do you say? God says.
Whenever God says when.
When God says when. Because I just add what I feel is right. Either it's based on that amount. So, like, I'll show you how much I put in here. Not a whole lot. Well, that is kind of a lot, but we like flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll show you. So, I put in about that much. And it's not quite hot enough to put the meat and the onion in yet, but it's getting a couple minutes. Yeah, and then anyway, so we'll get that going. Put the onion in, put the meat in, grind and fry it up. Yeah, that one. Thanks. Fry it up. We'll have to strain this one. Usually, I don't have to do that so much because we do use the pretty fresh. And I'm also real picky about like the product as far as meats. There are some things I'll use frozen meat or meat that's been frozen and then defrost. This is one I wouldn't mind doing that for Fideo. Meatloafs are one I definitely use fresh meat. I don't like the frozen. I don't think it binds the same. Anyway, so back to my mom. She's an amazing cook. Anyone who's ever tried her food has always said, oh, your mom's this dish or your mom's this dish or whatever. And, yep, there's a reason all of us girls look so healthy, because my mom's cooking. So John's going to fry up. And let me just tell you that when John and I first met, John did not cook. John made one dish, and it was a spam and pork and bean dish, an onion. And that was the only dish he really made. And so since then, like, he's learned to dice. He's learned to, I mean, pretty much a lot of things. He's come a long way. He bakes cakes. He bakes cakes better than me. I'm a good cook. I am not a good baker, but this man can bake. So I appreciate that. Oh, sorry. Energy, not beer. My caffeine addiction is strong, would you say, babe?
Mm-hmm. Just a little.
Just a little, yeah. I go through a lot of caffeine between coffee and that. So while this is going, since this is our first video, I just would like to say it's Valentine's Day 2021. It's our first Valentine's Day together. Mm-hmm. We got married in July of last year. We have 3 kids here on earth together, and then we have 2 in heaven. We each had a son in heaven before we met. My son passed away at 6 months, and his baby was stillborn. And then we have Genevieve, who goes by Vivi. She's 14. Then we have Trip, who's 10, the boy. And then Kata is 7. She's a girl, obviously. And, like, it's real interesting finding meals that everyone likes. Because, like meatloaf, for instance, John, Kata, and I, and Trip love it. Genevieve won't touch it. She hates meatloaf. Mm-hmm. We all love this cabbage and sausage meal. Kata hates it. You just,
yeah,
it's just hit and miss on meal.
Oh.
Whoa.
It's okay.
Please don't lose electricity, John.
It?
No, it's still going, but I'm worried about the house.
Yeah, we have.
It's okay.
Of course, it's
Snowmageddon right now. It's like, what, 6 inches, 5 inches out there?
Yeah.
About 5 inches probably. We put my big mixing bowl outside. You're okay, Vivi. You're okay. Sorry, Vivi. The electricity went off and Vivi was upstairs, so she was freaking out now. Oh, ignore our cabinet. I pulled too hard and I pulled the cabinet door off the other day, so John has to fix that. But actually, we're thinking we kind of like the idea of all the cabinets open so we can see what we have. And anyway, so we're debating on that. But I also like it neat, and so if it's not perfect looking, I don't want to have it open to anybody to see. But most of the friends that come over here are real good friends, and they don't care. They're friends that come over for the food anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think Gavin or Amber would care if the cabinets look a certain way. Sorry, this is Vivi, our oldest. She's 14. Going on, 21 because she knows everything. She's actually a pretty decent cook herself. Today she baked a cake, a real cake, like not a box. She actually made it all. John had to, we had to answer simple questions, but she's learning. And it was dense, but that's why you learn. So you learn.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm not a baker. For John's birthday, he wanted a German chocolate cake. And so my mom sent me from this old cookbook that she's had since before I was born. She sent me this copy of German chocolate cake homemade. And I made it from scratch. And it was actually pretty good. Well, I couldn't eat the top part because I don't do nuts and I don't do coconut. But the cake part was really, really good. Yeah. And then you made what for Gavin's birthday? Chocolate.
Just a chocolate.
Just a chocolate cake for Gavin's birthday. Trying to get. And then I did for my birthday, he made me a homemade pineapple upside down cake, which was really, really, really good. Our birthdays are only a day apart too, so we had a lot of cake that week. What? Oh, well, we're gonna edit it anyway. Sorry, she's telling me how to do these videos because apparently she knows. I told you she knows everything. What are you looking at? The knife? The hamburger? You're not getting any. Okay, we're a rare family when it comes to beef. Steaks, we want blue rare, as little cooked as possible. We do about a minute on each side, searing side, just for safety. She would eat the whole steak just out of the package if you let her. And
Out of the cow.
out of the cow, yeah. I always say that a good vet can bring my steak back to life because I just love it. John and I went out last night for steak dinner, and it was at a place that was not a steak place. And yeah, and we told her we were like blue rare, and that wasn't even an option on her little thing. It was like rare, medium rare, yeah. And she kept saying rare, like blue rare. We're like not cooked hardly at all, please, as rare as you can make it. And yeah, it came out. It was medium, yeah, but it was fine. We didn't care. It was just a nice date night, so we didn't make, we ate it. But then we have good steaks in the freezer. No, fridge. We're going to have those tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to have our ribeyes the way we make them, the way I do, in a hot skillet with the right seasonings and the right searing. Okay, so right now the onion's going, what?
Yeah, the garlic and onion.
Yeah, and so I'm going to add the hamburger meat now. I love the fresh stuff. I don't love the packaging because it gets everywhere. But if you find a local butcher, a local store like that that has its own meat market that actually cuts the meat themselves, it does seem like the prices can be higher, but also, like, of course, we've known the owners forever, but I like their page on Facebook, and then when they post the ads, you see what's on sale. And, like, we got 8 really good-sized pork chops that we'll make later in the month, or in a couple weeks. And it was, like, less than $7, or less than $8 for them. So there was less than $1 a piece for real nice cut pork chops. And so that's what I do, is I budget. I look at a total week's worth of meals, and I plan all my meals out. Like, we have a calendar. Well, first thing we did was we sat down and we wrote a list of all the meals I make on a regular basis. All the meals I like to cook or have cooked successfully. I guess I should say that, because some have been repeats, but they've been good. We never made them again. Anyway, so we have about 60-something items on this list. And then we take the calendar, and we put in, because there's certain nights that we're not home. So on the nights that I do cook, we put in what we feel like having. It's either just what John's been thinking about wanting, or we'll put on what, like, we try not to have, like, hamburger, or beef. We try to break it up, chicken, beef, pork. Yeah. Genevieve's disabled and has, pork doesn't do good for her body. It's actually hurts her joints. And so we have to watch that. So we only have pork once a week, if that, sometimes not even that. And then we also do fish and shrimp and that kind of thing. Well, that'll be a night. And so we try to break it up. I just don't want John to eat the same thing all the time. I love cooking. I love cooking for him. So he appreciates it. Mm-hmm. So I used to cook for a church group. And there'd be like 100-something people. As I've cooked mass quantities of food. For people, and I've done church youth, mission trips, and done all the cooking for meals on that. But I just really like to cook. I don't know why. I guess it's my mom. That was the thing my mom and I had. I was the youngest as a kid, and so that was the time I got to spend with my mom, was in the kitchen watching her. And so, not that my sisters aren't good cooks, but I think what do you call it?
Bonding?
No, what I can make is broader.
Oh, yeah.
What do you call that?
I want to say repertoire.
No, but it's like, what I can cook is a broader list than what my sisters cook. They're good cooks, don't get me wrong. They cook some really good food. But I make a wider variety, and I also make more different choices. But I also make, like, I'm not scared to try anything. I've made Thai food. I do Oriental quite a bit. But no dish am I scared to try. I mean, I will try it just to see. And a lot of what we do is we'll see something, like Wendell will post something. Mm-hmm. Well, so a friend of ours will post something, and it'll look good, and we'll think, oh, that looks good. So I look up the recipes, and I notice things aren't quite what I would do, and so I change it. So I'm horrible about writing recipes and following recipes because I like to make them my own just because I morph them to what works for my family. And then I'm horrible about writing recipes because, like I said, I just add things. Like, I'll look at something and think, mushrooms would be good in that. And I'll just add mushrooms to something that did not call for it. But that's okay. Most of us like mushrooms. Kata doesn't, but she can just pick them out if she doesn't want to eat them. But she's been lately, maybe it's because I've been putting mushrooms in so much stuff. I've noticed lately she has been eating them.
Yeah, I think once she gets more used to eating them, then...
Yeah, and so I've just been adding them to things that I normally would have not put in there for her sake, and I just keep adding it. And
they're tasty, and I'm sure there's good health qualities for mushrooms.
I just got, look at Barry's message. I'm having a snow day tomorrow at work, so that means another cooking day, so to me. So I'm excited. So hopefully my husband will not have to go to work. We're pretty much planning on, even I feel your love for, aww.
Nancy.
So our dear friend Nancy from Texas, well, she's from Oklahoma, but she lives in Texas now. Anyway, yeah. So she said something nice on one of John's posts about Valentine's Day with me, and yeah. Anyway. Alright, so this is cooking down nicely. It's browning up.
Yeah.
Smells
good.
I don't make my meat super, super brown. Definitely to the 60 degrees just to be for safety. But I'm not one when I brown hamburger meat.
Make sure all the pink's gone.
Yeah, I make sure. That it's cooked all the way thoroughly, but it's gonna, about to sneeze. It's gonna cook more in the juices with the Fideo, with the noodles, in just a little bit, and so I don't stress too much about. I need a bowl with paper plates napkins. Yeah, the big ones. Yeah. With. Anyway, so I don't stress too much about getting it all done in the frying pan now. I mean, it's done. Trust me, done. But but it's not like dark brown. You know what I mean? Like. And so, as I said, my mom is an amazing cook, but she has to battle my dad, who is a very, very, very picky individual.
Yeah.
Would you say picky? Or particular? Particular. Yeah. And so, there's certain things we've...
Are you going to need to put that in here?
I'm going to put the meat in there while I fry up the Fideo, and then I'll combine it all. Okay, but I've got to drain it all, so I'm going to put it in here. So now I'm just putting the hamburger meat and the onion and garlic mixture into a bowl. John's already lined it with paper towels. And then he'll take more paper towels, but be careful because it's hot, baby. Yeah. And pat it in until you get all the grease, as much grease as you can off. Now there's still like a trace of grease, just a rim of it. Like in here. Yes, and push down and keep patting. It might use up a little bit of paper towels, but that's okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to put a tad bit more of oil in there, not much. And then when that gets hot, we're going to add the Fideo. And there's really not a brand. I mean, I have 2 different brands here. I use 3 bags. I know I have a bad habit of overcooking. I make way too much. But that's my mom's fault. She doesn't know how to cook small amounts either, so she can't say anything. Okay, it's already starting to fry it. So I'm going to go ahead and add the Fideo. And you just pour the noodles into the oil. I'll show you. Hold on just a second. So I'm just going to... And this, I mean, the oil's down at the bottom, as you can see, and I'm just going to stir this in there, and then it'll start to turn brown. It'll start to just brown up just a little bit, but you kind of need to let it sit there just for a bit, just to get real hot in there, so it will turn brown. If you stir it too much, it'll never do that. So you kind of have to just let it, not burn, but... Of the meat.
I think it's good.
Okay. Oh yeah, let me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, still way more grease than I would use.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a really good friend, Amber. So y'all will meet her because she's already agreed to come on the channel to cook. Amber does not cook. And so one of the reasons I wanted to make this channel, and I've always wanted to do this, is because I wanted to show that anybody can cook. It doesn't matter cooking skills. It doesn't matter what you've done before, haven't done. I mean, heck, even me, as someone who loves to cook, first meal I made for John was horrible. So, I mean, it doesn't matter your cooking level. Some things are going to be good and some things aren't. It's just a matter of confidence in the kitchen. Oh, I can already smell that smell Mom talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good smell. She calls it nutty. I definitely wouldn't call it nutty, but I know the smell. Can you smell it?
I would agree with her.
You think it's nutty?
It's nutty.
How's that a nutty smell? Like what nut?
I'm not sure. It's not like a particular nut. It's just like a nutty.
That doesn't.
It's like if you have a bunch
of different nuts.
Yeah.
Like at Christmas, the mixed nuts.
Yeah.
I've never smelled any nuts that make it smell like this. But I know the smell that she's talking about, and whatever. I guess it makes a nutty smell. So you let it fry up for a little bit. It'll turn brown. I'll show you in a minute. It's doing it right now, so I don't really want to... You do want to stir... Once it starts doing that, you want to keep rotating because you don't want any burnt pieces in there. And you want all of the pieces to get that flavor and smell. And I really don't know if it's the texture or just the taste that it affects doing this. It might just be the taste because I don't know that there's a different texture to it. Maybe. Yeah, probably so. Probably if you just put it in without doing this part first, it should probably just be like more like spaghetti and just be like limp noodles.
Yeah, this is more crispy.
Yeah, so this, I guess it does do something to the texture. That makes sense. Okay, so John's degree is in physics, and so he's a science guy, and so he will think about like, so it's funny because like we can't talk about anything without it coming back to a science thing, like why things happen, or. But we're both big nerds, so that works for us. See, I love that smell. Again, I would not call it nutty. But this is definitely one of those things Mom taught me. You can never cheat this. You can never. I did look up. I remember when John got me an Instant Pot. I was looking up recipes for Fideo in the Instant Pot, and none of them called for doing this. And I was like, Mom said you had to, and so I did it. I made it like it said on, or did.
A little better.
Yeah, try getting out a little bit more grease if you can. I don't know if you can. And so, Mom, anyway, so I tried making an Instant Pot, and it did it. I'm not saying anything bad about Instant Pots. I have one. I use it on occasion. I don't use it Definitely don't use it every day. I probably don't even use it every week. But there are things I find you can cook in there and it's fine. But for the most part, I just like cooking old-fashioned because I think you lose different qualities that I'm not willing to sacrifice for my food if you do that. Like roast, yeah, it will cook a roast in 45 minutes. Is it going to be as tender as in the crock pot for 8 hours? No. So if I'm going to spend the money and everything on a meal like that, I want the quality that I'm used to. So. I have an air fryer. I know everyone says that's the way to go for feeding healthier, but I literally used it once, and I've had it for about 4 years. But I got the first one that came out when it was on the infomercials on TV, and I can't. Okay, so here's the color that we're talking about. So you get that brownish color. It's definitely not pasta color anymore. See the brown. Willy Wonka's behind on his time. He was supposed to create smell-o-vision by now, but he hasn't, and so you can't smell it. And the nutty smell that John and Mom talk about. But do you remember that from the movie?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Smell-o-vision?
Yep.
Okay. So now that's pretty much done. So John's gonna bring that meat over.
Okay. I think I got most of the...
Okay, that's perfect. So we're going to dump the meat. Okay, while I do this, I need three cans of diced tomatoes. Okay. And I'll use these 2 tomato sauces I have over here. And then I'll start doing the seasonings after that. So now I'm just going to mix the hamburger meat back in with the noodles. I think they're more closer to this way, baby. Yeah. That's the last place I put. So this is what I meant where you don't have to fry it brown the first time because it kind of gets fried again when you mix it in with the noodles. So you don't want to burn it. And that's what would happen is if you kept frying it the first time. I'm a little particular on certain things. I insist on washing all the cans before I open them because I've worked in a grocery store. I've seen warehouses. I don't trust things. Three of the diced. Now, back away.
Okay. No, you're fine.
I am a sissy la when it comes to spices. So my food is not spicy. All of these dishes I make could easily be spicier. You could fry in and it would probably actually, what?
Bad salt.
What? Salt?
Oh, yeah, Dave is being funny.
Yeah, she's saying that salt is spicy for me. It's not. I can handle salt. I love salt. I don't like spice. Anyway, he calls me a watered down Mexican because even though I'm Mexican, I can't do any heat.
It's a joke between us.
I say that those diced tomatoes that have the onions already in it, that's my salsa. I can handle a little hotter than that. But anyway, you could easily add jalapenos or cayenne pepper when I start to get to the seasonings. We'll do that in a second. I just need to get some liquid in here so it doesn't burn to get the noodles soaking. And so, and then baby, after that, will you get me about 1.5 cups of water?
Yeah.
Okay. And I put diced tomatoes in just about everything just because I absolutely love tomatoes. I can sit there and eat a jar of a can of tomatoes as a snack, so.
Here we go.
Okay. pour it in all over. Please. Okay. Okay, so here's what it looks like. I've mixed in the 2 cans of the little cans of tomato sauce, 3 cans of the diced tomatoes, got the hamburger meats back in there now, and John put a cup and a half of water in there. John, let's go ahead and do another, say, cup, because that's going to cook down, but I need enough to cook those noodles all the way. Okay, now the fun part. This is my favorite part. The seasonings. I love the seasonings. It's all about that. So, believe it or not, I do use a little bit of spice things. I just don't use a lot of them. So, I definitely need my cumin. Like, we go through so much cumin that I finally just bought a big thing of it. I got tired of buying the little ones. It was pointless. Those don't last here. Ooh. I want a big, nice, organized spice thing someday. When we get it, we're just in a rent house right now. So when we get our own house and I do a custom build of my kitchen or a custom design on my kitchen, I already have it picked out what I want. Oh, I'm not measuring. Okay, so on the cumin, I would say 2 tablespoons at least of the cumin. I'm going to put like a teaspoon, not a lot, of the chili powder, and even less than that of the cayenne. I'll probably put like half a teaspoon of cayenne, just enough for a little bit more flavor, but not enough where I can't eat it. So yeah, that's about a half a teaspoon.
And everybody can do it.
Yeah, and you can do it however you want. Spice. Like if you're not a sissy la la, you know, have fun. Put spices. Me, I'm, like I said, a watered down Mexican. I can't take the heat.
How much of the garlic?
Oh, so this is a garlic herb thing I'm hooked on right now. And it was at Aldi, but now it's not there. Or it was Save. That's why I couldn't find it at Aldi. This is from Save-A-Lot. I need to go get more of this. So, it's a garlic and herb spice. It's salt-free, which is good because that's how I messed up the first meal I made for John, because I didn't realize when it said garlic and pepper that there was salt in it too, so I oversalted the food. Anyway, so this I put like about a tablespoon of, because I like the seasonings in that. It has, let's see, garlic, black pepper, onion, red pepper, parsley, things I put in there anyway. A little bit of lemon in it, looks like, which I'm, lemon oil anyway. I'm not a, what do you call it? Lemon pepper person. Then garlic powder, I'd say another teaspoon of that. I know I have quite a bit of garlic in there. I honestly don't think you can have enough garlic. I've yet to have a dish that has too much garlic. Okay, I use the coarse salt usually when cooking. I just like the flavor of it. I think it dissolves, I know it sounds stupid, but I think it dissolves slower, and so I think it retains more of the flavor. Anyway.
Being my nerdy self, I think you're right.
You think I'm right? That because it dissolves slower, so it's different.
Takes a little, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like that whole thing I was talking about. Like, people don't like cilantro. And I love menudo, but I like menudo. Okay, this is about a tablespoon of black pepper. Kate is not here today, but I add a lot of black pepper for her because she absolutely loves black pepper. Anyway, but to the cilantro. So I love menudo, but I like when cilantro is cooked in with the menudo. I love the taste of cilantro. But a lot of people don't like cilantro. And so most places that sell menudo, you can add cilantro on top at the end, but it's already cooked. And I don't like that. And so, anyway. I think when you cook with the seasonings in, it's a totally different effect than just adding it at the end.
Later.
Yeah, the whole process. Okay, so now it looks pretty good. So this is close to the finished product. That's John. Okay, so if you'll get the lid, baby.
Yeah. And
then we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to cook this. I'm going to keep an eye on it because it's not really wet. Actually, I might. Let's go ahead and put another half a cup of. No, it's pretty wet. Okay. Just as long as it doesn't dry out too much. So, it's on medium, or kind of high now. I'm going to put it on medium high. And it's boiling a little bit. And so, we're going to cook this for about maybe 10 minutes. I'm going to let this cook. I'm going to let all the flavor, you know, infuse everything. It'd be so good. So we got the lid going on that. I'm going to leave it alone. I might pick up the lid once or twice just to stir it at the bottom, make sure it doesn't scorch. Other than that, it's pretty good. But we'll come back in just a little bit and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm stirring it up. It's pretty cooked down, as you can see. The noodles are nice and tender. It smells amazing. Okay, so if you've never had Fideo, if you've never had this, the way you can eat it, and the way I like to eat it, is with a tortilla, flour tortilla. You actually don't even use a fork. You pinch off a tortilla and you pinch it, you know, a little bite. Or you can, I like it with sour cream and shredded cheese. That makes it really, that's Vivi saying hi. It makes it less healthy, of course, but do I look like I go for health all the time? So, sometimes you just gotta do taste. And John just said it's 9 degrees outside, so this is totally good. Cold weather. It's, what do you say? -8? What do you call it? Feels like 98?
Feels like -8.
Yeah, so. And we have to go run some errands in just a little bit, so we're crazy. Anyway, so this is really, really, really good. Oh my gosh. And like I said, we make this more than regular spaghetti. It's really not that long time-wise. This is something I could totally make on a weeknight after work. You just throw it together and let it cook. Like, you know, like when Kata's doing her homework, I can put this together and it'll cook, and then help her and then have dinner. And it makes a ton. I mean, this is a huge pan, and it's filled. I make too much. I need to learn how to cut back, and y'all are going to help me with that because I'm going to learn how to make less at each meal, so I don't waste any. But my dear friends and co-workers don't mind so much my cooking because I take them the leftovers if we don't eat them here at the house, and they like it. So, and I try to take my dad some. I know, like I said, he's particular about his food, but I know what he likes. So on the dishes that I make that I know he likes of my dishes, I always take him some, just because he's spoiled too. John's definitely getting spoiled to my cooking, aren't you?
Oh yeah, it's good. Smells good and tastes good.
This is one of his favorite meals, though. This is one of his, he brags about this one. So, all right. So this is my first video. Sorry I rambled. I ramble when I get nervous.
Oh, you're good.
But so this is our first one, and then we're going to go from there. We are going to do videos of us actually at the store, picking out things, ways to save money on that. Roma tomatoes versus beefsteak tomatoes. Just different things that will help save you money, and you still get quality and taste. Vivi, stop. And so we'll get into all that. And so that's why it's called Price of Cooking, because I'm all about the cost of things. But also making good meals that will last and that will be good and healthy-ish. Anyway, so that was our first one. So, bye.
Bye.